Imagine this. You're sitting with a woman you deeply like. The air feels heavy. The silence is electric. You want to lean closer, to touch her hand, to kiss her, to take things further. But in that moment, your heart races. Your thoughts spin. What if she rejects me? What if I ruin this? What if she thinks I'm pushing too hard? And so you do nothing. The moment passes. Later that night you wonder what could have been if only you had asked, if only you had acted. This is the story of many men. Strong men, smart men, men with good hearts. But they freeze at the edge of intimacy. They don't know how to ask. They don't know how to create that spark without making it awkward. They fear rejection more than they desire connection. But here's the truth. Stoic wisdom and psychology together can teach you how to ask for intimacy in a way that feels natural, respectful, and even magnetic. And if you stay with me, you'll discover psychological tricks that can shift the way you approach women forever. This isn't about manipulation. It's not about fake lines or cheap tactics. It's about learning how to carry yourself with calm confidence, how to read her signals, and how to move with courage when the moment comes. Let's dive in. The first thing you need to understand is this. Intimacy doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts in the mind. A woman doesn't decide in a single second whether she'll give herself to you. That decision is being shaped long before the moment of closeness. Every small gesture, every glance, every silence. She is reading you, and your energy is speaking louder than your words. So here's the first psychological trick. Slow down your desire. Most men rush. They push too fast. They show their hunger before trust is built. But women feel safe when they sense patience. If she feels like you're not desperate, like you could wait forever if needed, that patience itself becomes attractive. It tells her, this man values me more than the moment. Think about Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic. He said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. In intimacy, the same applies. If the moment isn't right, you don't force it. You wait, you breathe, you let her comfort grow. The second trick is reading her silence. Most men misread words but ignore body language. Here's the truth. Attraction often hides in the spaces between words. A woman might not say, I want you, but her body speaks. Does she lean closer when you talk? Does she touch your arm lightly? Does her voice soften? These are subtle signs of comfort, and when you notice them, you can respond with small, gentle steps, like moving a little closer or holding her gaze 2 seconds longer than usual. That's when asking for intimacy no longer feels like a leap. It feels like the next natural step. Now let me share a story. A man once told me he always lost his chance with women because he froze when the room got quiet. He hated silence. He thought silence meant failure. But one night, he tried something different. Instead of breaking the silence with nervous words, he held it. He looked at her, breathed calmly, and let the silence stretch. And something amazing happened. She leaned in. She kissed him. Silence wasn't his enemy. It was his bridge. That's the Stoic way, strength through stillness. The third trick is framing intimacy as a shared journey, not a selfish desire. Many men make it about them. I want this, I need this. But a woman doesn't want to feel like a prize you're trying to win. She wants to feel like a partner you want to connect with. So instead of saying, can we, in a needy tone, you invite her into the moment. You use gentle, confident words. I'd love to hold you right now, or I want to kiss you. Notice the difference? It's not a question of begging. It's an offering, a clear, confident signal of desire while leaving her the space to choose. That choice makes her feel respected, and respect is the soil where desire grows strong. Now, the fourth trick is something most men overlook. Your breathing. Yes, breathing. Think about it. When you're nervous, your breath is fast and shallow. She feels that. She senses the tension. But when you breathe slow and deep, your calmness becomes contagious. She relaxes because you are relaxed. Imagine sitting with her, your breath steady, your voice calm, your presence grounded. That calmness tells her, this man is safe. This man is in control of himself. And that's when she opens. But here's the fifth trick: asking without words. Some of the most powerful requests are not spoken at all. When your eyes soften, when your touch lingers, when you lean in slowly but pause just before, you're asking a silent question. Do you want this too? And if she leans the rest of the way, you have your answer. That's intimacy without pressure. That's connection without force. Stoicism teaches us that we don't control the outcome, only our actions. You can't control if she says yes or no. You can't control her feelings, but you can control your courage, your calmness, your respect. And when you master those, you don't need tricks in the fake sense. You become the trick. You become the man who doesn't beg, doesn't rush, doesn't fear. The man who simply invites and allows her to choose. This is only the beginning. Because there are deeper levels to this. Subtle psychological shifts that can change how she sees you, not just in one moment, but forever. Let's go deeper. You see, the real battle is not between you and the woman. The real battle is inside. You between fear and courage, between hesitation and action, between doubt and self-respect. Most men lose not because the woman rejects them, but because they reject themselves before even trying. They convince themselves, she won't like me, or she'll laugh at me. And that inner rejection kills their energy, their charm, their spark. But a Stoic man thinks differently. He doesn't waste energy on things beyond his control. He understands that rejection is not an attack, it's information. It simply means the connection wasn't there, nothing more. And so he doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't crumble. He simply thanks her in silence and moves forward with dignity. That energy alone makes him more attractive. Because women can sense when a man's confidence doesn't depend on their answer. Here's another psychological truth. When you ask for intimacy, you're not just asking for her body. You're asking her to trust you with her vulnerability. That's sacred. That's not something to play with. And women can feel when a man understands this. They can feel when he carries himself with honor, not just desire. Think of it like this. Imagine two men. The first man, in a rush, leans in too quickly, his words shaky, his hands uncertain. She feels pressured, cornered, unsure. She pulls back. The second man, calm and grounded, leans in slowly, pauses, looks into her eyes with honesty, and simply says, I want to kiss you. She feels seen, respected, invited, not pressured. She smiles and leans in. The difference is not in the words, it's in the energy. That's why Stoicism matters here, because Stoicism teaches emotional control. Not suppression, control. You feel desire, but you don't let it drive recklessly. You hold the wheel steady. You let patience, respect, and calmness guide you. That control makes her feel safe, and safety is the foundation of intimacy. Now let's talk about timing. Men often ask at the wrong time. They ask when she's distracted, when she's uncomfortable, when the mood is off. But intimacy blooms in presence. The right time is when the world seems to slow down, when you're both leaning in closer during a deep conversation, when the laughter fades into a soft smile, when her eyes linger on yours. These are the windows, and if you're too trapped in your head, you'll miss them. That's why the next trick is learning to be present, truly present. Not thinking about what you'll say next, not worrying about tomorrow, just listening, just watching. just feeling the energy in the moment. When you're present, she feels it. She feels that you're with her, not in your head. And that presence alone can unlock her heart. Another powerful trick is storytelling. Yes, storytelling. Women connect deeply through stories. When you share a personal story, not just facts, you invite her into your inner world. Tell her about a memory, a moment that shaped you, a lesson you learned. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's a bridge. And often, when you've shared something real, she will feel safe to share too. That emotional connection often leads naturally into physical connection, because intimacy is not just about the body, it's about the soul. Now let me give you an example from history. Seneca, another Stoic, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most men imagine rejection as this crushing blow, when in reality rejection is often gentle, sometimes even kind. The suffering comes from the imagination, not the actual moment. The same is true with intimacy. You imagine the worst, and that imagination paralyzes you. But when you step in with calmness most of the time, reality is far kinder than your fears. Here's something crucial. Never make intimacy a performance. Don't act like you're trying to impress. Don't think of it as a test. Women feel when you're trying too hard. Instead, think of it as a dance. A dance doesn't have winners or losers. It has rhythm. It has flow. It's about enjoying the moment together. When you carry that mindset, pressure disappears and intimacy grows naturally. And now, I want you to picture this scene. A woman is sitting beside you. The room is quiet. Your heartbeat is steady. You look into her eyes and instead of rushing, you smile. You let the silence breathe. You say calmly, "I'd love to hold you right now." She pauses. She smiles back. And in that moment, she feels not just your desire, but your respect, your calmness, your presence. That's how you ask. Not with fear, not with begging, but with strength and softness combined. Here's the final truth. You cannot force intimacy. You can only invite it. And the more you understand this, the more powerful you become. Because when you let go of control, when you accept that her choice is hers alone, you free yourself. And women feel that freedom. They feel that you're not trying to trap them, but to walk with them. And that freedom often makes them choose you. So, my friend, the next time you're in that quiet room, when your heart races and your thoughts scream at you, remember this. Slow down. Breathe deep. Read her silence. Respect her choice. Speak with calm honesty. And above all, be present. That's how you ask for intimacy. That's the psychological trick. That's the Stoic way. If this video spoke to you, if it gave you courage, then don't let it stop here. Carry this energy forward. And if you found value in these words, do me a favor. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the Untroubled Stone for more wisdom like this. Because together, we are building men who are calm, strong, and unforgettable.